Hello everybody, welcome back to another Telestai video. Today we're going to be covering Telestai-CB, or the Telestai Crater Bubble, or the Telestai operating system, kind of whatever you want to call it there. But yes, we are testing an operating system today, and this operating system was made by Topper, who did a fantastic job getting Telestai-CB where it is today. And there was a lot of work put into this, so I'm very happy to showcase some of it today. But you'll notice that I'm set up in Proxmox right now. So for those of you who are not aware, Proxmox is just like a basic little hypervisor that allows me to virtualize computers. So I can basically spin up a tiny operating system, whether it be Ubuntu or, Telestai-CB, and just mess around with it in like a little environment that I can control and configure. So you have a couple different Proxmox nodes configured with various utilities. So today, that utility is going to be Telestai-CB. So I already have the ISO image downloaded here. And so, if you're normally running this operating system, you're actually not going to be using kind of this ISO that I'm using today. Ideally, you want Telestai-CB to reside on a USB drive, so you can plug the USB drive straight into the computer and boot straight from it. It's not mandatory by any means, but the idea behind Telestai-CB is to keep like a mega secure operating system, right? So if you're running other things outside of it that are maybe not even as secure, then it can kind of compromise what Telestai-CB is aiming to do. Another thing to note, Telestai-CB is kind of a fork of Tails OS, and if you know anything about Tails OS, it is already the kind of pinnacle of projects dedicated to protecting users and user security. We have forked this operating system because we want to build up the Telestai ecosystem from the ground up and curate this operating system to be used within the ecosystem of Telestai, so it'll interface perfectly with all of the various applications and tools we are currently building. So, well, I guess I should show you how to download from URL. Anyways, you just right-click the button for the ISO image, paste that here, copy the URL. It should tell you right away. It'll download the ISO image straight to Proxmox. Once you have that and you see it here in your local storage, we're going to create the VM. And I'm starting this in PV1. That's perfect. The VM ID, I'm going to set to 505. Doesn't really matter. Call this Telestai-CB. Operating system. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Looks good. Looks good. Yes, I'm just gonna give it 2 cores. We'll give it 2 gigabytes of memory. This is a light yet powerful operating system. Trust it's gonna 2 gigabytes of RAM, 2 CPU cores, no problem. I guarantee it. Okay, let's click next, and we're gonna click start after created. And what we're gonna do really quick is we're gonna go here, and we're gonna go to the console. And then we'll maximize this and we'll see we are booting right in. Automatic boot in 1 second. And we're going to get started kind of with the install process of this operating system. So I'm going to give it just a couple seconds here while it fully loads up. It shouldn't be more than like 30 seconds, 20 seconds maybe. And yeah. And there we go. We got this little onboarding window. Just the basics off the start, what language you're using, the keyboard layout, formats, and then this option for persistent storage. Now, persistent storage is definitely something to note because, this operating system being as secure as it is, it automatically resets every time you turn off the system or you reboot it. So, if you want to save things like Wi-Fi passwords, or maybe you want to designate a folder for items that are not supposed to disappear, then you can create persistent storage. Now, since I'm running this as a virtual machine, as an ISO image, it's not going to give me the option, but I am going to select this anyways, just so I can show you guys the window that would kind of pop up and what you could do from there. So we're going to go ahead and click Start Telestai-CB and give this a second to load. See, we get an error. We got that little, it's not so sort of error, but it did recognize that we are running in a virtual machine. which is pretty cool. So we have this Tor connection window, and then we have the persistent storage window over here. So we'll just run through persistent storage really quick. Everything, this kind of just reinstating what I kind of just said, but everything you do disappears automatically when you shut down Telestai-CB, but you can save some of your files and configuration in an encrypted persistent storage on your USB stick. That could be documents, Wi-Fi passwords, or browser bookmarks. You know, it's really up to you, whatever you want to configure. I do have persistent storage configured on the USB drive. I do have Telestai-CB on for my own personal use. And so what I can do is just plug the operating system in, decrypt the storage, and then boom, my Wi-Fi passwords are already there. Some other information I wanted, which was like a folder where, you know, I can put stuff in and I don't have to worry about it deleting itself. So that's pretty cool. Definitely mess around with that. I imagine most people would probably want to configure some sort of level of persistent storage. Again, you know, that's all up to you. It'll ask you what items you want to remember, what items should we not worry about, that sort of thing. So we're going to click cancel. We're just going to close out of this window for now. And then we're going to come back to this Tor connection. So everything you do on the internet from Telestai-CB goes through the Tor network. Tor encrypts and anonymizes your connection by passing it through 3 relays. Tor relays are servers operated by different organizations and volunteers around the world. Tor is really cool. You know, I could sit here for a while and probably explain different things about Tor, but I highly recommend, you know, just check it out, do your own research for yourself. It's a really cool how it all operates. So we're just going to select connect to Tor automatically, and then I'll kind of guide through kind of what that looks like and how we can kind of test to just get like some sort of indication that, you know, Tor is doing its job. So we're going to click connect to Tor. Awesome. Connected to Tor successfully. You can now browse the internet and anonymously and uncensored. Perfect. Well, we'll go ahead and just start up the Tor browser and we'll see what that experience looks like. So off the bat, it's going to load up the documentation for Telestai-CB, which is really cool, really expansive documentation. Again, everyone, this is all Topper here, who did a bunch of wonderful work getting all this documentation up to spec for Telestai-CB. Huge applause to him. Thank you, Topper. From here, we'll kind of do a quick check. I'm just kind of curious, what is my public IP address? We'll kind of see right now. It says France up here at the top. I am not located in France. You know, that would be cool though, but you know, I'm not at the moment. We'll go ahead and go to whatismyipaddress.com and kind of see what happens here. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Sure. Country. Okay, well, Germany. I'm also not in Germany, so that's. I mean, it's doing a thing. That's for sure, and that's what I want to see. So, just a couple of simple ways that you can check to see, you know, is this working? Is this doing a thing? Yeah, just try a couple of those methods, and you know, you'll get some confirmation pretty quickly there. That being said, that's kind of the Tor browser. Let's kind of go into the aspects of other applications on this. Since we were just on a browser, I'm also going to bring up the other browser included in this operating system. We're just going to go here, and the Tor browser is like the default, right? But one thing we do have is an unsafe browser. Now, why would we include an unsafe browser in a super safe operating system? Well, because there's some situations in which Tor is not going to work instantly. So, for example, if you're connecting to a Wi-Fi network that, you know, when you go and type whatever you want, but then it pops up this this other site where you have to select, yes, I want free Wi-Fi or something. You do that in this unsafe browser, click that, you're good. Then you launch the Tor stuff, and then the Tor stuff works fine. So, just catching all of those different cases because if we didn't have that, then you wouldn't be able to do anything on that Wi-Fi network, which would be kind of annoying. So, yeah, just a quick mention of that. The other thing that we do have is, because this is tailored to Telestai, we do have some additional resources for that here. For example, we have the Electrum Telestai wallet. We have links to Lasco and Mercatus. We have links to the web wallet. All sorts of good utilities that you can use. There's also a wide variety of other applications that, I haven't really gotten my feet wet kind of in quite yet, but, that's where I kind of just encourage you guys to kind of try this out. Let me know what you think of it in different regards, and there's a lot that can be done with this. You got your whole Office suite, you got open source Excel, you got open source Word, a bunch of different applications. You have actually like a password manager down here called KeyPass. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, a bunch of cool things, but it's pretty similar to, a very minimal Linux install. And so we can come here, we can click the settings here, and from that point, this looks pretty familiar. You got network, Bluetooth, you got sound settings, display settings, all that great stuff. So that's pretty much all I wanted to cover at this point. If you guys made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you guys have comments, concerns, leave them down below. If you reach out to us in Discord for any additional problems, feel free to do so. We'd love to answer any questions. And lastly, just try this on your, if you have a USB drive lying around, just throw it on there and see what you can do with it. You can go to like any random computer and theoretically just boot into your own secure operating system. Only you needs that USB drive. I mean, you're not going to affect anything else on that system. It's just a great option to use. It's a great thing to have in your utilities, so to speak, if you're kind of into this stuff. So now I'm kind of dragging you guys along for my experimentation phase, because we are going to test, since we haven't configured any persistent storage, we're going to see if everything just deletes on reboot. And I think I can already say that I'm pretty sure it is, but we're going to go here, we're going to use nano and just make a test.txt folder. Cool. And then this is a test file. Perfect. And use the terminal. So I'm just going to restart here. And we will just wait and see. This is probably going to bring us back to kind of the onboarding window. I'm just going to run through all that stuff kind of as quickly as possible here after it boots. So we can just confirm if that text file no longer exists. So yeah, but other than that, that's pretty much about it. This is basically for my own curiosity and kind of interacting with some of this stuff now. We're going to click just start there. I'm going to wait for it to boot up. I'm just going to open that terminal and we'll see if the file is there or if the file isn't there. Come over here, go to utilities, terminal, perfect. Run an ls and look at that, our file isn't there. Perfect. So that's all I wanted to know. If you guys enjoyed this video, I kind of already mentioned what to do. I swear, I think I've mentioned it like 3 times now. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we'll be back again soon with some more feature updates.